The 1979 D Washington quarter is a significant piece of American numismatic history, both as a circulating coin and as a reflection of the transitional era in which it was minted. Issued by the United States Mint at the Denver facility, indicated by the D Mint mark. This quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 and has undergone many design and material changes over the decades. The obverse front of the coin features the familiar bust of George Washington, the first president of the United States, based on a model created by sculptor John Flanagan. This portrait was adapted from a 1785 bust by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. Above Washington's head is the word liberty, a foundational ideal of the nation, while to the left is the national motto, "In God We Trust." The date, 1979, is inscribed at the bottom of the coin, and just beside it, to the right, is the D Mint mark, signifying production at the Denver Mint. The reverse, back, of the 1979 D quarter displays the classic heraldic eagle design that had been in use since 1932 until it was retired in 1998 with the launch of the 50 State Quarters program in 1999. The eagle is depicted perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military preparedness, and is framed below by olive branches, representing peace. The inscriptions read, "United States of America" above, "E pluribus unum," Latin for "out of many one," just above the eagle's head, and $quarter at the bottom. This reverse design was also the work of John Flanagan and remained largely unchanged for nearly 7 decades, cementing its place as one of the most iconic motifs in American coinage. The 1979 D quarter is composed of a clad alloy, an inner core of pure copper surrounded by outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives the coin its characteristic silvery appearance. This composition had replaced 90% silver coinage in 1965 as a cost-saving measure due to rising silver prices. The clad coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features reeded edges, a traditional security feature to discourage shaving of metal from the coin's edge. Though it lacks silver content, the 1979 D quarter remains an enduring piece of daily commerce and a nostalgic token of late 20th century America. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck an impressive 489,789,780 quarters in 1979, making this coin widely available even decades later. As such, most 1979 D quarters carry only face value in circulated condition. However, in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS 65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, the coin can be of interest to collectors. Such specimens may command values between $2 and $15, depending on the market and condition. Coins with full strike, excellent luster, or no contact marks are particularly desirable. It's worth noting that the 1979 quarter does not feature the Susan B. Anthony dollar design, which also debuted that year and sometimes causes confusion among new collectors. Historically, 1979 was a tumultuous yet pivotal year in the United States. Domestically, the country faced high inflation, energy crises, and growing political skepticism. President Jimmy Carter was in office, and issues like the Iran hostage crisis and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan began to dominate the global stage. Against this backdrop, the 1979 D quarter circulated in the pockets of Americans navigating economic uncertainty and social change. It was a coin spent at gas stations during fuel shortages, used in payphones and vending machines, and passed across store counters in an era that was teetering between the analog past and the digital future. From a numismatic perspective, the 1979 D quarter is not especially rare, but it holds value as part of the broader Washington Quarter series. It is a coin that marks the end of the 1970s, a decade of shifting values, economic struggle, and changing global dynamics. For collectors, the coin may serve as a reminder of the evolution of U.S. coinage leading up to the modern era, and it offers a tangible link to the past. Whether found in a change jar, an inherited collection, or a coin roll, the 1979 D quarter embodies both a utilitarian role in commerce and a silent witness to American history. In conclusion, the 1979 D Washington quarter is more than just 25 cents in face value. It is a piece of U.S. heritage that blends art, history, and economics. Its high mintage ensures that it is readily accessible to collectors and hobbyists, yet pristine specimens can still offer collecting appeal. As with many coins from this era, its true worth lies not merely in market value, but in its capacity to spark interest in the rich tapestry of American coinage and the cultural context from which it emerged the next top. The 1980 P. Washington quarter is a significant piece in the fabric of modern American coinage, representing both a continuation of traditional design and a reflection of the nation's economic conditions at the dawn of the 1980s. This quarter, with its face value of 25 cents, was minted by the Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the small P mint mark located on the obverse front of the coin, to the right of President George Washington's ponytail. This particular coin belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of the first President of the United States. The design features the iconic profile of George Washington, based on a model created by sculptor John Flanagan, which itself was inspired by a bust sculpted in 1786 by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon. The obverse bears the inscriptions Liberty above Washington's head and In God We Trust to the left, with the date 1980 at the bottom. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a bald eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military preparedness, while olive branches below signify peace. This combination reflects the United States' readiness to defend itself while also advocating diplomacy. The year 1980 marked an era of high inflation and economic uncertainty in the U.S., which influenced the minting and use of coinage. Millions of these quarters were struck for everyday circulation, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 635 million examples that year, making the 1980 P quarter a common coin in terms of mintage. It was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, clad around a pure copper core, a composition introduced in 1965 after silver was removed from circulating quarters due to rising silver prices. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Despite being common in circulation, the 1980 P quarter can still be desirable to collectors in higher grades, especially if found in mint state condition, MS 65 or higher, free of significant wear, scratches, or contact marks. In such condition, it can fetch a few dollars on the collector's market. Some rare error coins from 1980 also attract attention, including off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet, although these are uncommon and must be authenticated by professional graders. Culturally and numismatically, the 1980 P quarter symbolizes the enduring legacy of George Washington in American history and coinage. It bridges the gap between the older, silver-era coins and the modern-day clad coinage. Although not a commemorative or precious metal coin, it serves as a historical document of sorts, reflecting both the physical evolution of U.S. currency and the socio-economic backdrop of its time. It is also part of the last full decade before the U.S. Mint would begin major modern changes to the quarter, such as the introduction of the 50 state quarters program in 1999, which changed the reverse design regularly to celebrate statehood and national heritage. Therefore, the 1980 P. Washington quarter holds a place in numismatic history not for its rarity or artistic novelty, but for its role as a steady, functional coin that carried on the national imagery during a period of change and uncertainty. Collectors and historians alike value such coins as part of broader collections that tell the story of America through its everyday money next top. The 1999 Connecticut State Quarter, part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, holds a deeply historical and symbolic place in American coinage. Released as the fifth coin in the program and the last to be issued in its inaugural year, this quarter honors the state of Connecticut, which ratified the U.S. Constitution in 1788, a date prominently displayed on the coin. This quarter was officially released into circulation on October 12, 1999, and features a captivating reverse design that centers around a revered American natural monument, the Charter Oak. The Charter Oak was an unusually large white oak tree in Hartford, Connecticut, and is deeply woven into colonial American folklore. According to legend, in 1687, Connecticut colonists used the hollow trunk of this mighty tree to hide the colony's royal charter from the British Governor-General, Sir Edmund Andros, who sought to revoke colonial rights and bring the region under tighter British control. This act of defiance became a symbol of American resistance to tyranny and a cherished emblem of liberty, aligning well with the obverse inscription "Liberty" seen on the coin. The tree endured as a living symbol of Connecticut's independence until it was felled by a storm in 1856, after which its wood was used to create numerous historic relics, including chairs for the state capitol and other commemorative items. Designed by James Farrell, the reverse of the Connecticut quarter presents a finely detailed engraving of the sprawling limbs of the Charter Oak. Its distinctive silhouette, with wide, dramatic branches extending horizontally, is strikingly rendered to evoke the grandeur and significance of the actual tree. This imagery captures not only natural beauty, but also the deep roots of democracy and freedom embedded in the state's history. Surrounding the oak are the inscriptions Connecticut, 1788, the Charter Oak, and 1999, along with the standard E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many one, referring to the unity of the United States. The obverse of the coin features the familiar right-facing bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a motif first used on the quarter in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. This profile was slightly modified in 1999 for the 50-state quarters program to improve clarity and contrast with the new, more detailed reverse designs. The D mint mark on this coin indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 U.S. mints that produce state quarters, the others being Philadelphia and San Francisco. Circulating coins were struck in copper-nickel clad composition, a core of pure copper with outer layers of copper-nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Proof versions were also struck in both clad and 90% silver for collectors, typically bearing an S mint mark from San Francisco. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced approximately 657,880,000 Connecticut quarters in 1999, a testament to the popularity and wide distribution of the state quarter series. These coins remain common in circulation, although uncirculated examples and proof issues are particularly prized by collectors for their historical significance and artistic beauty. The Connecticut quarter not only stands as a representation of one state's heritage, but also marks a critical chapter in the broader story of American independence and identity. It reminds us how symbols such as a tree can become monuments to resistance, democracy, and the enduring American spirit. The 50-state quarters program, launched in 1999, was designed to educate the public and generate new interest in numismatics by celebrating each state's unique history and culture. With its powerful design and evocative symbolism, the Connecticut quarter fulfilled that purpose brilliantly, offering a compact yet deeply resonant lesson in early American courage, colonial resilience, and environmental reverence. The image of the Charter Oak lives on not only in Connecticut's identity, including on the state quarter and seal, but also in the minds of millions who have carried this coin in their pockets, unknowingly holding a living symbol of freedom, history, and the American will to govern itself. The coin in the images you provided is a 1976 United States Bicentennial Washington quarter, which was minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence, 1776 to 1976. This special issue quarter was released as part of the U.S. Mint celebration of the Bicentennial of the American Revolution, and it is distinct from the regular Washington quarters due to its unique reverse design and dual-date inscription on the obverse. It is a piece of both numismatic interest and historical significance, widely circulated and still found in change today, though with growing collector interest as time progresses. The obverse front, of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, which was originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932 for the bicentennial of Washington's birth. However, in this bicentennial version, the typical date is replaced with the dual date 1776 to 1976, symbolizing the 200-year span between the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the year of this coin's issue. Above Washington's head appears the word liberty, and to the left of his profile, the phrase "In God We Trust" is inscribed, both standard features of American coinage, reflecting foundational ideals and national motto. The reverse back of this commemorative quarter departs from the typical eagle motif and features a special design by Jack L. AHR, chosen through a public competition organized by the U.S. Mint in 1973. The design shows a colonial Minuteman, a symbol of the American Revolution, standing at attention and playing a drum, with a torch encircled by 13 stars above and to the left of the figure, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. This imagery evokes themes of patriotic resistance, civic duty, and the early fight for American liberty. Around the upper periphery is the inscription, United States of America, and at the bottom, the denomination $quarter is displayed. Just to the left of the Minuteman, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, appears, meaning, out of many, one, a reference to the unity of the diverse original colonies forming one nation. This coin was struck in both copper-nickel clad composition, like most modern quarters, and in 40% silver clad format for collector sets, such as proof and uncirculated versions. Most of the coins found in general circulation are copper-nickel. It was minted at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. From the image, there appears to be no visible mint mark on the obverse, which would suggest it is likely from the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark on quarters at that time. However, confirmation would depend on a very close inspection. The bicentennial quarter was not issued only in 1976, but in fact, its production began in 1975 and continued through 1976. Interestingly, no quarters dated 1975 were minted. All coins produced over that 2-year span bear the dual date, 1776 to 1976, to honor the bicentennial. This coin is part of a special commemorative set that also included similarly dated and themed half dollars and Eisenhower dollars, making 1976 a significant year in U.S. numismatic history. In terms of circulation and collector interest, these bicentennial quarters were produced in massive quantities, over 1.6 billion in total, which means they are not particularly rare in worn circulated condition. However, coins in uncirculated or proof condition, particularly the 40% silver versions, or coins with striking errors, can be more valuable. While a circulated example like yours usually holds face value, 25 cents, to around $1, its true worth may be greater to someone interested in history or building a type collection of U.S. coins. Culturally and historically, this quarter remains a nostalgic and iconic piece for many Americans. It captures the patriotic spirit of the bicentennial celebration, which was one of the most widespread and elaborate nationwide commemorations in U.S. history, involving parades, special stamps, commemorative items, and educational initiatives. The drumming Minuteman on the coin's reverse serves as a poignant visual reminder of the sacrifices and ideals that shaped the United States, making it more than just a medium of exchange. It is also a miniature canvas of national pride and collective memory. In summary, the 1976 Bicentennial Washington Quarter is a widely circulated yet historically meaningful coin, distinguished by its dual-date obverse and patriotic reverse. Though it may not be rare, its design, symbolism, and historical context give it enduring value in American numismatics and culture. Whether kept as a collectible, a teaching tool, or a sentimental item, it remains a proud memento of the United States' 200th birthday and the legacy of the American Revolution the next top.